Do you know you could get relationship advice on Fiverr? If you're someone that can give relationship advice, you can make money on Fiverr. Fiverr.com, my favorite website to hire freelancers. Okay, let's get this over there. Okay, cool. So let's start talking about Fiverr. So Fiverr is all about quick and easy jobs, and they call the jobs gigs. I mean, for any young people out there, you probably know what a gig is. That person that just calls you up from a bar and says, can you come over and work on the bar for me today? Just a quick gig. So they kind of sort of followed that simplicity of a real life gig. And when they started off, the concept was that everything was $5. Just to keep it simple, whatever you want on the website is $5. But since then, I mean, they started out, I think it was 2001, they've developed, and now they've increased their base prices. I mean, as you can tell on here, there's $20, $30, and it even goes up to $125 for animation. And some people still do the $5, proofreading 3,500 words for $5. I mean, that doesn't really take a long time. $5 is fine. So yeah, so that's Fiverr. Very simple. Another thing that makes Fiverr a bit different to other websites is the fact that you put your service up and then the client has to find you, rather than you having to bid on a client's job. So a lot of these websites, that freelance websites, make you bid on a particular job. You competing with everyone else, and then the client chooses who they want to work with, which is great for the client because you get to pick who you work with. But it might not be as great for you, especially if you're just starting out, because you're constantly competing with everyone else. Here, you yourself can sell your services. You put a nice picture up, you put a description, and you add your portfolio. You can add your website, where you're from or whatever, and just sort of see if people like what you're offering. And another good thing about Fiverr as well that I really like is that you can literally find anything. Like, I mean, I've hired some really weird stuff on Fiverr. Let's say birthday. Let's see what comes up for birthday. So happy birthday videos. Do you know what I mean? Like prayers and mantras. Literally, you can order anything, you can sell anything. Sexy policeman, happy birthday video for women. That's what I'm saying. Like, people literally sell anything on Fiverr. You could get really creative with what you want to sell. That's what I think is great about it, because a lot of these websites sort of restrict what you can offer. But with this, they're a bit less professional with it, but it just means that anyone can make a buck. So how does it work? Now, let's say, for example, I'm going to go for logo design just to sort of show you guys how it would work. Okay, do I need to have a particular design in mind? No, I need a design partner. No, I know what I want. I'm going to go for flat. Okay, all right, whatever. So this is a completely new bit, but it seems like it allows you to filter through the different sellers. So that's also where they've literally thought about the seller, because they know that there's going to be tens of thousands of people that are going to do graphic design. So they've now put a section at the top, which I didn't even know about until now, because I don't really hire logo designers, but they've added this bit at the top to allow people to filter through to exactly what they want. So you can get really specific with your offer in order to differentiate yourself with everyone else, so people can find you. So there's that as well. But what I actually wanted to show you is how it looks for a buyer when they click on your offer. So yeah, I do notice that even when I'm buying, that a lot of people sort of offer free packages. starting with a standard, a basic, and a premium. Then you can add on how long it's going to take for you to deliver, how many revisions they get. I mean, that's really important. You don't want a client that's got to ask you for 10, 20 revisions, right? So it's quite cool that they've got that. And then also, once you select a package, you can add gigs to it. Gigs, they call it gigs extras. Sorry, you can add that. So basically, upgrade whatever you're gonna buy, which is pretty cool. So if I want to design a minimalist logo with a branding kit for my website, I can also choose to get a PDF booklet. And some sellers would have multiple gigs extras. Like I've seen sellers that have 5, 6, 7 gigs extras on top of whatever they're selling. So that's actually really cool. You can also see when the recent delivery is. So that's why I advise you to be really active on this website, because people can tell when you're not that active. So if you go on Fiverr, be active and, really push as many gigs out as possible, because there's no limits. Like some people on here have like 10 gigs. So you can have different gigs and try and get jobs. Just so it looks like you're active. You have recent delivery about 4 hours, 5 hours, maybe a day. You don't want to look like your last delivery was 7 days ago, because people won't trust you. Average response time, that's also really important, because when buyers come on here, they're contacting 5, 10 different people at a time. So you want to be responding quickly, so people know that when they contact you, they're going to get a response back. I'm really annoyed when I try to order something and the person takes a week to respond. I'll just move on to someone else. So there's that. So I'm not actually gonna go through the sale, because as you can tell, it's pretty expensive. But once the buyer buys your product, you get to ask them a set of questions. In order for you to obviously fulfill the job, you need to know what you need to do. So you ask the client a set of questions, he answers it, and then you go ahead and do the job. And then at the end of it, I mean, in this case, me, because I'm usually the buyer, I get to review the job that they've done. So just to show you how a review looks like. So this guy has edited one of my videos on YouTube not long ago. I don't know if you watched the motor vlog. He's the one that edited that. And then, I can just rate my overall experience. I was happy. The quality of the service, the quality of this delivery, quality of service, probably the same thing. I put 10 out of 10 because I really liked it. How likely to recommend this to a friend? That's also really important. And then it gets more into the nitty gritty, like the public feedback, what people are going to see. So communication with seller, again, really, really, really important. You want to be communicating with these people, because they're going to rate you on how responsive and communicative you was during the job. So communication is important. Was the service as described? So you don't want to lie on your gig and say you can do things that you can't do, because people will just say that this guy's lying, and it will come up on your feedback. I mean, this is public. And whether I would recommend this seller to someone else. I mean, yeah, I would definitely recommend this guy. He was amazing. And then, you normally get to put in how it was like working with the seller. Absolutely great. And skill endorsement. So I think he's a really good video editor. So that will get added onto your profile as well. So yeah. So if you're a very skilled person, you can end up with quite a few of them. So yes, I just wanted to show you guys what it was like to get reviews on this website. And yeah, another thing about Fiverr is that you can build long-term relationships with people on here. So I've got sellers that I have worked with for 2, 3, 4 months. In fact, one of my designers that's been working with me for the past 4 or 5 years, I found on Fiverr, oh, someone just delivered something. They have a really good messaging system. I mean, that means I could talk about it now. That's good. Their messaging system is really good. I normally have Fiverr on in the background whilst I'm working on other things, and whenever something comes up, you just hear a bang in the background, and it's really cool because it just means that you get a really nice back and forth with people. You can see when they're typing as well, so it's a bit like Facebook. When you're typing, you can see where they're typing, and you can type, and people can see when you're typing. So I think that's really cool because you can get that sort of live conversation going on with someone. But on email, there's a lot of back and forth. Sometimes you're away, or it's hard to sort of keep up with it unless you have email on your phone. So with this, you can actually communicate with your client effectively. So that's that. Then what else can I tell you about it? Yeah, we was talking about long-term relationships before my message popped through. So just to show you one of the people I have long-term relationships with. Completed. I mean, I only started this account probably this year, and it already has 67 orders. So you can tell that I'm quite active on this website, right? Compared to other ones. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys this girl, Mimi Social. Name on here is Organic 2016. So she's really good at social media management, and I mean, I built a really long-term relationship with her, and you can tell why, because when you go on an actual offer, here you go. Management duration 30 days. Now, that's really cool, because after that 30 days, what's the client gonna do? He's gonna want to stick with you. I mean, he's been with you for 30 days. Why would he want to move on? If he did a good job, the client is obviously going to come back to you. So that's what I really like about Fiverr. You can easily build these long-term relationships with someone. You can put an offer up that's going to mean working with someone for 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. And then you know that after that, you pretty much got a relationship with a person. So you can tell them, look, I mean, we did well. Let's go again. Let's do another month. Let's do another 2 months. So that's also really cool about it. So yeah, I mean, Fiverr for me is pretty much the best out there, but that's my opinion. I'm still gonna go through some other websites, I mean, that I also use from time to time again, because one of the downsides of Fiverr is that you won't particularly get the best in the industry on Fiverr, just because of the gap in just okay, I have to explain this properly. Just because of the gap in the prices. So you have guys doing logos for $5, and then you have guys doing logo for $1,000. So I mean, if you were someone that's really, really good at graphic design, that studied it and for years and years and years, and has worked with really high caliber clients, you might not really want to be on a platform where you're competing with someone that's offering Fiverr for a logo. So a lot of the sort of high caliber people don't really bother with Fiverr. But if you're someone that's that's easygoing, then you can use it, because it means that you can have a really cheap offer for people that don't really have the money, and then you can have a really expensive offer, or you could just have loads of extras. And that's another thing. Apart from the extras, you can actually offer a custom order. So you can say, if this doesn't fulfill your requirements, then contact me and I will send you a custom offer. I've done this a few times, and the custom offers come through your messages. I'd love to go into my messages, but obviously that's private because that's me talking to people. So I don't really want to show that. But it literally pops up where they send you a custom order, and then you can accept it or say no, and then carry on negotiating with them. And it's all in the message thread. So I think that's also really cool. But yeah, Fiverr's the one, man. I mean, it has fun and lifestyle gigs. I mean, relationship advice. Do you know, you could get relationship advice on Fiverr. If you're someone that can give relationship advice, you can make money on Fiverr.